Food Court, the movie podcast, and Twitch stream where Sean
and John
and special guest Chad Riden
Hey, everybody.
watch shit, talk shit, and most importantly, eat shit. We must welcome, of course, back to the show, John Burr. We love him. But we must welcome, is it for the first time, Chad?
Yeah, I've never been on the show.
The late, great Chad Riden
R.I.P.
here to represent the greatest film ever. Wait, what? You say exactly what you mean.
America's favorite comedian of all time, Chad Riden. Thank you. Here to talk about the greatest film ever made, Police Academy 2. We all agree.
If you're not watching the stream, I really thought that me having an actual Police Academy 4 jacket was going to be like best dressed on the show. But Chad is here in a goddamn tuxedo.
Hey, dress for the job you want, not the job you have. And I want to be Don Rickles. So
Absolutely.
Here we go.
I think you should settle for the guy who plays Mauser in this movie.
R.I.P. They're all dead. Everybody on the cast except for Michael Winslow and Steve Gutenberg are dead.
Didn't that guy die like
this weekend?
Yesterday or something?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, Mauser just died.
The only thing I know about him was like he was gonna be in more Police Academy movies, but like got paralyzed.
What?
Something bad happened. Yeah, he was super excited to be in the film and loved them and was very grateful for the opportunity. He had the right attitude, quite frankly.
He like fell off a fucking ottoman or some shit or a ladder and was a fucking paraplegic.
That,
for real.
I mean, at this time in comedy, that's still a good bit. You bring him back in the chair. You can't do that now.
You mentioned Steve Gutenberg, and Steve Gutenberg. Now, this was like a Curb Your Enthusiasm episode, so maybe this was 10 years ago. But 10 years ago, he had a six-pack of abs at like age 50.
That guy has always been cut. He's always looked great, and people don't give him enough credit. Like he's a great actor.
I feel like Steve Gutenberg gets exactly enough credit.
No, absolutely not.
Like,
come on, like, 3 Minute a Baby?
Yeah, there was
You tell me Police Academy 4 didn't tickle you? Come on.
We'll get to the different police academies, but like, I feel like he made a couple comedies with Leonard fucking Nimoy.
Yeah.
And Leonard Nimoy was like, he's not very good. He's not very good. And that was the end. That's all we saw of Goots.
That's what Nimoy said?
Glutes and Goots.
I consider Gutenberg a poor man's Paul Reiser, but that's just me.
Yeah, I think it was market corrected by Paul Reiser.
Paul Reiser's TV and Gutenberg is films.
A little film called Aliens, Bubs.
Yeah. Whatever.
There is a Paul Reiser Goots connection. They were both in Diner together.
Oh, yes.
There you go.
Playing sort of the same character.
Well, you say that he's like Paul Reiser, but Steve Gutenberg's like all friendly all the time. Whereas
That's true.
Like Paul Reiser's like the soup Nazi compared to him. Like they're just two different flavors of Jew.
Yes.
And like you've got the sardonic edge of Paul Reiser, who also is like an intergalactic space lawyer. And then you've got Steve Gutenberg, who's just a really schmarmy guy. Yeah, but he is cut.
Ripped.
Oh, he was in Cocoon. You have me there, Chad. You have me there.
You had me at Cocoon. In case you can't tell, we watched Police Academy 2. But before we talk about that, I have to talk about something really important. And that is tell a friend. We do this show, and, you know, we would do it for no one. But we would prefer to do it for tons and tons of people and to be millionaires. So tell your best friend. Tell your worst friend. Tell if you happen to know someone who's a new paraplegic and is wondering like what to do with all the time.
I assume our audience is mostly white males.
Yes.
And if you're a white male, you have to have a podcast.
Yes.
And you can't have a podcast alone. So just tell the person you're podcasting with right now to listen to our podcast as soon as you're done podcasting.
Yes. Yeah. I happen to know that we have at least one non-binary listener and at least one
Gary
listener. Gary's not non-binary. He's just
you guys are checking all the boxes.
Yeah. We have, you know, a bunch of white guys and then like some slightly less white, slightly less guys. It's not
very
bad.
Progressive.
Not bad. But before we talk about Police Academy 2, we must talk about briefly our Panda Express of the week. Ring get a ding 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 ding. Michael's not here, so I have to do it. Ring get a ding ding ding. Choo choo! The Panda Express is coming into the station. We're gonna talk about movies that we watched this week, and then eventually talk about them next week. John and I watched *Malignant*. We're not gonna say too much because we're doing an entire episode about it next week. But John, *Malignant*. Say 3 words or more, and then stop before you get too deep.
*Malignant* is bananas.
Yes. Wow. Exactly right. For that and more, come see us next week because we're talking about it. It's on HBO Max now. If you're afraid to go to a theater, which I totally understand, you can watch it at your home. Turn it up way loud. Don't let yourself be confused by how weird it is because it gets even weirder. And just have a great time and come back and talk to us about it. But now we can talk about Police Academy 2.
Thank God.
There's no one better on this earth to tell us the plot of Police Academy 2 than the foremost Police Academy scholar in this earth. Maybe in other worlds as well. Chad Riden. Would you tell us what happens in this movie, Chad?
Oh, goodness. Well, you remember from Police Academy 1, they opened up recruits to everybody who's not qualified to be an officer, and they got a bunch of idiots, and those idiots in D Squad became cops, and the guy who kept trying to get kicked out, Steve Gutenberg, Mahoney, is now the greatest cop who's ever lived, and he has been assigned to the worst precinct in the city, and all of his friends from the Police Academy D Squad, most of them, are now assigned at this precinct where chaos reigns and a gang runs the city and everything's awful. And just so happens the brother of the commandant at the police academy is the police chief of this precinct, I think.
Yeah.
And so they bring in these guys to try to fix the city. And guess what? It goes bad.
It does.
It doesn't go well.
They do a lot of bumbling.
Yeah, you would think it would go perfectly because they were such good recruits all through the police academy. They did such a good job, and now in the real world it just goes very poorly. But you know, they interact with this gang through in wacky different scenarios, and then they end up at a zoo, and the cops are victorious. Somehow it all works out, and everybody's happy.
Yes.
Nobody gets killed.
I don't think they do. Yeah.
You failed to mention, Chadwick, that the leader of said gang introduces the one and only Bobcat Goldthwait.
Bobcat. Oh, and this is why I push Police Academy 2 over Police Academy 1. Police Academy 1, better film. I mean, funnier, I think, but no Bobcat. So Police Academy 2 is better.
All right, I was going to say this in our worst segment, but it does have Bobcat. But I'm like, I think it was very, very incel of you, Chad, to have chosen the one Police Academy that does not feature the character that led to the sexual awakening of most people our age.
Listen,
you know the character I'm talking about,
of course. And
they're in the first, and I think the third, fourth, fifth, and sixth movies.
This is the only film she was not in.
Yeah, which confounding why you would choose this film. There is an extremely buxom, like drill sergeant character.
Yes,
who's like that was like the draw for. There are a lot of draws. You have
Callahan,
that's right.
And so she's not in the film because she was in real life she was pregnant or some shit, and so she couldn't do it, and she deeply regretted it. And they did too. So they put a random blonde woman in the movie poster who is not in the film.
What?
They've got, if you look at the movie poster,
right now,
there's a random beautiful blonde buxom lady right there.
That is just savvy marketing
and she is not in the movie at all.
That's pretty clever.
But they knew
there is a bustier sized hole in this film.
Oh yeah. For sure.
This is, I hate to say it. This is a sexless police academy movie.
Wow.
It's sad.
And for that, I counted 4 breasts.
I know. Yeah, there were boobs.
comparatively.
And we got to see Mauser's ass. That was a delight. But yes, other than that, you're correct. Like we missed out on the sex appeal. And the characters who did not come over from the first film were all sexy. Like it was the swarthy fake South American guy who had multiple girlfriends and was banging Callahan. Callahan's not in it. You know, the big fat guy, Leslie's not in it. Like there's, you know, it's sad. The people
Harris is not in it.
Harris is not. He is in the film actually. During the wedding scene, he's in there getting his picture taken. His back's to the camera, but he's not. Yeah, he couldn't. His character couldn't be written into the film, so it's unfortunate that.
But I gotta say, like, so Harris's role is filled by this like weird Jackie Gleason like he really looks like Joe Piscopo had sex with an Oompa Loompa. Like it's a guy called Mauser. We've already referred to him as now. Recently dead, and before that paralyzed. But I actually think Mauser's better than Harris.
Oh.
He's much, I do think he's more charismatic. He's more entertaining, and he's more emotive. And
he's not as hateable as Harris, so I get it. And
Harris is furious.
Harris is fucking fine. I'm not slandering Harris, just like I'm not going to slander Steve Gutenberg later when I say that Matt McCoy, when he replaces Steve Gutenberg, is better.
Fuck you. No, he's not.
But I am going to say
Academy 5, 6, and 7 are abortions, and we don't even talk about them in the Police Academy Academy.
What about House?
Get out of here. No, like
when he weighs down the balloon, the weather balloon. All right, let's get this out of the way.
Police Academy 1 through 4 are canon. 5 was awful. 6 was just, you know, come on, a money grab. 7 was an abortion, and we just don't talk about it.
The Police Academy movies are summarily awful.
No.
Except what we're going to dig into, Chad, because I'm with you on this.
What?
I'm obsessed with them because I watched them at a time in my life where you go to the video store, and I'm walking out of that video store with either a Police Academy movie or a like wrestling tape, like a professional wrestling tape.
Let's be real, both.
I'm going to have somehow slipped behind the swinging saloon doors and stuck one of those tapes into a wrestling tape and get out with some porn. Those were really the only choices of movies for my childhood. So I watched them all repeatedly over and over and over again.
Yes. Me and my brothers watched these films so often. We memorized the dialogue, and we would just run through the dialogue at the dinner table. My parents hated it so much they took the videotapes away, so we made secret audio cassettes of the film's sound, and we would play those and drive them insane. We loved these 1 through 4.
But to my prepubescent and then later after Callahan very pubescent mind, sequels, like nowadays we're like sequels, they ruin everything. When you're a kid, each sequel's better than the last.
Oh yeah.
So like in my weird brain, I'm like 7 is the greatest Police Academy movie.
No.
Now I
watch it now.
Yeah, now I go back and
holy
look and
shit.
I get it, you know, but still, this is all about nostalgia for me, and I'm you know, I have no problem doing this episode. I cannot believe that it won, and still think like Chad like invented some crypto bots to somehow vote 600 times to
yeah, of course I did. Are you guys insane? Like you made this an internet poll? I'm the king of the fucking internet. I destroyed your poll. Like anytime you put something to the people on Twitter, guess what? I voted 50 times.
Damn it.
Are you out of your minds? Why?
Beautiful.
Why would you allow this to happen? And I thought surely you guys would be like, oh no, obviously Chad is an asshole and he rigged our poll. We're not going to watch Police Academy 2. Why would we ever watch that awful movie? Like, I never thought you guys would allow this to happen, and you're fools to let it happen. You didn't know I
had a Police Academy 4 jacket.
No. Now your house is going to get robbed, quite frankly.
All the Police Academy fans are going to run to his house and steal all of his merchandise.
Yeah, you idiot.
We've already gone deep on things that are negative about this movie, but we haven't even talked about our favorite things yet. And I'm going to start because mine is, I think, obvious. Michael Winslow.
So great.
Michael Winslow. I have so many problems with this movie, but I have no problems with Michael Winslow because he comes in right off the bat. He's making fun of these smarmy people who don't have a television. They're like, "Ooh, I don't even have a television," and then he starts making eating noises, and it ruins their relationship.
Yeah.
It instantly ends their relationship, which is fantastic.
Am I incorrect in saying that he really only does like a helicopter sound and like a beep, 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 beep sound, and that's pretty much
in this movie?
For any sound?
Those are his main sounds.
Throughout his career.
No, he's you have to. Okay, everybody has to go see Michael Winslow live. Watch him headline at a comedy club. He will do an hour. It is the most amazing performance you'll ever see. He closes with the Star Spangled Banner as played by Jimi Hendrix. He is absolutely unparalleled as a performer. Like you have no idea.
Star Spangled Banner, and it's like
it's
pretty much like just like a man getting too close to a microphone. And
no, he has effects pedals and shit that he uses for that. Ooh. But like, oh my God, he is so great at what he does. It's absolutely amazing. And you guys are fools if you don't go see him live every chance you get.
This one does have the best Michael Winslow gag in the entire series.
The ninja thing.
Kung Fu thing is really
that is my favorite part of the film because it's not. There's no indication that he is a ninja in the first film. This comes out of nowhere.
He begins the scene by, well, a stuntman or gymnast clearly leaping over like a 20-foot fence.
Yeah, at least 15, 16 feet.
With no trouble, forward flip.
And then he defeats these two young toughs, one of whom is played by like a 67-year-old Mexican man.
Yes. Yep. And there's an Asian grocer who's like, "Yes, thank you."
Well, like the Asian grocer, first the toughs come up to him. I love this. This is my favorite scene as well because the guys come up to the Asian grocer and he's like, "Oh, okay," and he's like, "Come on," and then he does nothing to resist. He is neutralized immediately, and then Jonesy flips over the fence, puts on a headband of some sort, and then just destroys them. While the old man sits there, is like, "Oh, not the broccoli, not the cauliflower." It's like the Police Academy movies do not treat Asian characters nicely, and that is one way they have not aged properly. But
shit, Walter. The character Nogata ends up with the buxom commandant. Damn it!
Yes.
I'd say Asian characters are treated best of all.
He does come out ahead.
Another Winslow bit that I love is Winslow's partner early on, of course, says something really racist. He says he refers to Winslow and his brethren as you people, which we don't like to do.
Yeah.
And then later, he gets back at him because Gutenberg is pretending to be in a gang. He has pulled a gun on Winslow's partner and put it to his head and puts him up. Whoa! Hey, give me a chance. Just let me finish.
When he says "you people," he's obviously referring to impressionists.
Impressionists, yes. He's talking about just Winslow and his other impressionist friends. But later, Gutenberg has a gun to this partner's head when he's pretending to be a gang member, and they bend him over the squad car. And Winslow gets to kick him like 15 times, and he really gets into it that Gutenberg has to pull him off.
Yeah,
and it's like a nice little setup and punchline 35 minutes later. But I just love that little bit where he's just kicking him in the ass and really loving it. What else is good about this movie, John? What's the best part of this movie?
The best part of this movie, well, I think we're probably unanimous in the best scene is the Kung Fu scene. I think the second best scene is probably any scene that involves Mauser and is it Fackler? When we were kids, we all would just call him Fucker.
Yeah,
but which I think is the gag. I think it's like the proto welcome the Fockers, or here come the Fockers, or whatever.
Yes,
joke. But I also think there's a second legitimately awesome gag in this movie.
Okay,
the boxing match in the living room.
Yes,
between the dad and the son is like some Kentucky Fried Movie level funny to me.
Yes, and all of those actors are amazing. The mom is incredible. Yes. The dad, the son, they're all great. And it's a shame that that family's not carried over into all the films because all of that is amazing.
I think David Graff, who plays Tackleberry, is a legitimately excellent comedic actor.
Yes.
And like, so most of the scenes he's in, like, he's kind of, because he doesn't play his character in the context of a Police Academy movie is kind of a straight man.
Yes.
From in Police Academy 1, he's like a really wild character and really like militaristic and kind of like roguish, and he's pretty zany. But for the rest of the film, other than like his one big gun gag, he's kind of a straight man.
But he is every cop in real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
The best gag in the history of the Police Academy movies, real quickly, is in Police Academy 1. A woman can't get her. She tries to make a call on a payphone, which for you kids out there, you used to have to put in quarters to make calls from a payphone.
I've heard of this.
And she can't get the call, doesn't go through, and Tackleberry shoots the payphone until all the quarters spill out, and then he goes, "Ma'am, can you identify your quarter?" That's the best Police Academy gag of all time. Make of that what you will. But that guy, he's that straight man glue in any scene that he's in that like grounds it and makes it absurd because he plays things straight somehow, despite playing the most insane militaristic thing. And also, furthermore, I do think there's like a lot of really good comedic actors in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And whereas now, if a movie like this were made, it would be mostly like Abercrombie and Fitch models playing these characters.
Yes. Yeah.
It's guys like Tim Kazurinsky from SNL.
Yes.
It's guys like Bobcat Goldthwait. It's guys, people from the Actors Studio, shit like that. And I think it lends. All of these are like legitimately eccentric, interesting characters, and I do think that makes it like a cut above. Like, I know that people growing up now, they'll look to stuff like the 21 Jump Street movies and like all the Will Ferrell movies as sort of their Police Academy type movies.
Right.
But I'm just gonna say it. Ours are better. Ours are better because it's actually like a blend of like good and bad, like laughing because it's good and laughing because it's ridiculous, as opposed to like the movies that are made now. They either it's either like a Talladega Nights where they really nail it and it's actually a really good movie, or it's just like a fucking drag and a fucking bore, and there's no like for us. We had a special time, and that time was the 80s, where these movie franchises had tons of money dumped into them, and it was a bunch of like Harvard Lampoon comedy writers or people aping Harvard Lampoon comedy writers trying to actually write comedies, and it led to like a golden age of shitty comedies.
Yes, the good old days.
Yeah, I agree, and I think. Oh, one of the things that I reading about this movie, I didn't know was Sweet Chuck was supposed to be in that very first scene, and that's it. But his interaction with Bobcat was so great that they were just like, we have to write this guy into the whole film and every sequel. So it's like
and Goldthwait, their rapport for the rest of the movies is
the best.
Parts.
Yeah, absolutely the best. So great.
Yes, he's the little dude. I love that little dude. Didn't he play? Am I right to remember that he played Hitler in that Hitler sketch?
Yes.
Hi, Hitler.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yeah.
He was all over. He was all over SNL for like 3 years. Like 3 of the better years. Like he's there during the Eddie Murphy, Joe Piscopo era.
Right.
Yes.
He was like a support player. And I know he was a big part of the writing staff too during that era. Which
like a writer.
That's like that's Ebersol times, which that's good. That's good SNL.
Yeah.
Yes.
So and I know I don't know much about Tim Kazurinsky. I know he was very close with John Belushi. So that makes me think that weird little man also was doing like weird little drugs. So I have a morbid fascination with him. But he's one of those Chicago guys, and that's a good scene at that
doing
time.
Tons of blow.
Yeah.
I have a few more positive things to say.
Okay.
Believe it or not.
I kind of don't believe it.
You don't believe it? I'd like to hear more. One, Fackler is with his new partner, and they're both guys with glasses, and they are in a donut shop. And behind them, as Fackler is getting shown the ropes, someone is pouring gasoline on their car. And then a nice young gentleman asks for a match, and he says, "Keep the pack." Yeah. And then they're still talking about more donuts, and their entire car gets set on fire.
He's like, that's right. You got to endear yourself to the people. The flames.
Can we do a subreddit on Fackler here for a second?
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy could have been like Will Ferrell or something. He's so on point for those movies, and he didn't do fuck all. I don't recognize him for anything else, and he's like an integral part of the police. The Police Academy movies are just a larger part of my filmic universe than they are in the real film universe.
Maybe
because
right.
I just keep going like, why isn't that guy in more stuff?
Where's Fackler?
Where's Fackler?
If they could put him and the woman who plays his wife in the Police Academy movies, like in other movies together as a pair, that would just that'd be so great.
I'll do it. I'm gonna write a movie for them.
Put him in.
There's another Fackler bit where they're trying to finally stop the gangs, and he's talking to some guy he's under the hood of a car trying to steal it, clearly. And then some other guy sneaks up to try to grab him, and Fackler accidentally hits the guy behind him in the head, and then turns around and accidentally knocks the hood on top of the man and certainly crushes him to death. And that's a good little bit. I love the big dog.
Lou.
Something beautiful about a big ass dog. I love that. And this is my final positive. I love when Gutenberg is meeting Zed, played by Bob Goldthwait, and Gutenberg says, "My name is Jughead," and Bob says, "My mother's name was Jughead," which is just.
Well, I'm thinking about changing it. It's a good American name.
Gutenberg saying, "I'm thinking about changing it." Is my favorite part of that.
It's really good. And also, this is neither good nor bad, but apparently, according to AMC Plus, which played ads 3 or 4 times during the showing of Police Academy 2, The Walking Dead is still fucking on.
It's their last season. Thank God. Fuck them.
What about Fear the Walking Dead? Is it their last season of that as well?
I'm sure.
Have not heard.
I turned down a pretty well-paying hosting job for like a nerdy web review series because I would have been required to catch up on The Walking Dead. It was just I started trying to do it, and I got a couple seasons in. I was like, I can't do this. There's 7 seasons. I can't do it.
Yeah, I stuck in it longer than I should. That 3rd season was pretty hard, and the rest of it was just fucking stupid.
I will never do that again, folks. We'll never talk about The Walking Dead again. Chad, this is your moment. This is the moment you've been waiting for. This is the part of the show where you get to talk about the best parts of a movie. This is your time, and I do mean time because I'm going to give you like 2.5 minutes here. I'm starting at
2.5 minutes. Okay.
Well, we've already talked about the good stuff, like
I'm going to give you 2 minutes of your own.
Jonesy doing the kung fu shit is great.
Yes.
Mahoney, everything he did in this film is fantastic. It's amazing that he is the best cop in the movie.
Yes.
Just unbelievable. Tackleberry nails it every time he does anything. But Sweet Chuck is the best, and Bubba Smith, of course, amazing.
That's never been said outside of the context of football ever.
Bubba Smith did such a good job in these movies, and they should have given him more. But like, it's so interesting. Like, Sweet Chuck's name was not Sweet Chuck. If you look at the glass, it's spelled differently. It was said differently, and Bubba Smith could not say the name, and so they just said, "Fuck it." His name is Sweet Chuck. Say Sweet Chuck, and they changed the guy's name, the character's name, because Bubba Smith could not fucking say the character's name.
That's awesome.
I love that.
That's football. That's football, baby.
I don't know. There was so much great shit in this movie. The monster truck at the end, like it's all just everything you want, except for the big, beautiful blonde lady with huge tits. Like, I mean, it is like
Chad. Why?
Yeah, I wasn't in charge,
she's also a really good. Oh, I thought that was a Chad suggestion. I didn't know that Sean did Police Academy 2.
No, I didn't suggest Police Academy 2, did I?
I don't know.
You put it in the poll.
I put it in the poll because Chad has been requesting it for some
time. I just every time anybody asks for a film, I always say Police Academy 2. It's the best.
That's she's one of the best actresses in the series too, though.
Sure.
Like she's really good. And there are, like I said, like there's Colleen Camp. There's primo actors in this. It kind of goes down as the series goes on as far as acting pedigrees. But it's interesting to me that for the most part, the cast stuck together and made all of these movies. So they must have really enjoyed working together. And I think it kind of shows on the screen. Like it's like all of these have like, I don't know, a feel to them that they were fun to make. One more note before we move on to our worst things. I don't know much about the Police Academy movies, but I'd noticed one name in the credits. Barry Blaustein wrote this. All I know about Barry Blaustein is they wrote Coming to America, and then he also is the writer, director, narrator, co-star of the classic wrestling documentary Beyond the Mat.
Oh, really?
Which is like a really great movie for all those food courtesans out there. It's like the stories of Mick Foley, Terry Funk, and Jake the Snake Roberts behind the scenes wrestling, and it's
deeply depressing movie.
Yeah,
deeply depressing.
But man, if all you've got is Police Academy 2 and Coming to America, that's a pretty damn good resume.
Swish.
Yeah.
And Beyond the Mat, do you get to watch Mick Foley arrive in his hometown and not know how to get back to his house?
Get to watch Jake Roberts smoke crack.
Yeah.
Get to watch Terry Funk just break his ankle walking.
Yes. You get to see a doctor say, sorry, you have nothing holding your bones together. Most people have like tendons and shit, but you don't have any of that. You just have, I think just the meat is holding your bones together. And so I don't know how you can walk, sir, but have a nice evening doing wrestling, jumping off of a 20-foot ladder onto a Japanese man. Have a nice day.
Have a nice day indeed.
It's a great documentary. I'm going to say negative stuff. I know it's crazy. Who could come up with negative stuff about Police Academy 2, the greatest film of all time?
On guard, Chad. On guard.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah.
My low man of this is there isn't a plot. And I know.
Get out.
And this is, I think the main problem is I compare it to like a Naked Gun or an Airplane, where
don't do that.
It's a series of sketches. Sure.
It's a bad idea to compare anything to those movies. But like one of the things that makes those movies flow for me is that, okay, an Airplane, he can't fly anymore, and he loves this lady, and they're all on the plane, and there is a story there that works as a story even as there are a bunch of sketches happening. And in the same thing with Naked Gun, he's got to protect the queen, and he keeps fucking shit up, but in the end, he still has to keep protecting the queen, and he too falls in love. But in this, it's like eventually, I think once the Gutenberg stuff kicks in and once he joins the gang is when it kind of like starts to feel like stuff is happening, but that isn't for like an hour.
Yeah. There's basically two different plots in the Police Academy films. One is we're at the academy, we're doing some recruits through, and they do that in like 1, 3, and 6. I think
we skipped some shit,
but like the others just sketches.
The Police Academy movies, and I let Chad off the hook during his summary because I know he's nervous and he's been waiting for this moment for a long time. But let's talk about how the Police Academy movies are grim augury dystopias that foretold the future, because the actual beginning of the Police Academy thing is you know what, we're having such a hard time getting decent cops that just anybody can be a cop. And
Show
guess
up.
what, that's what the fuck has happened. And Mahoney he keeps getting in trouble with the law so much that they basically make him into a cop. Well, if you profile cops and criminals, you pretty much get the same goddamn profile these days. So Police Academy tried to warn us. Barry Blaustein tried to warn us, but we didn't listen, and here we are.
Yeah.
Blaustein was like, whatever you do, don't give these people military equipment.
Right.
Even regular guns are too dangerous for these men, but definitely don't give them tanks. And we all said, no, we should give them tanks.
I'll do my worst thing, and it's a bit of a downer, but as you've noticed, Michael isn't on the show this week, and I can't say I blame him because his point was, I don't really think movies about cops are funny. And when you're watching this movie now, it has a totally different flavor than when you watch it as a kid.
True.
Like if they remake Police Academy, I guarantee you they're gonna have to put a healthy dose of commentary regarding just what policing has become in this country. Or maybe they fucking won't. I don't know. But apparently they've been saying a reboot's going to happen since like 2004.
Yeah,
apparently
I don't buy
it's really happening, Chad.
I don't buy it. I know that Key and Peele had a script they were shopping around, and it was supposedly in the works, but who knows? I don't see it happening. So many of them are dead, and Gutenberg's not going to come back. Michael Winslow's up for anything.
Gutenberg's going to come back, Chad.
He will not.
Gutenberg will come back.
No, he won't.
Maybe Gutenberg in 3 Men and a Little Baby era. Gutenberg wouldn't come back. Gutenberg will come back in fucking anything. Gutenberg will come back for a Cocoon remake. Gutenberg will come back for any remake. Diner 3, he'll do it, guaranteed.
I don't know. I've talked to Michael Winslow about it. He is in and ready to go whenever they're ready.
No doubt.
Bobcat does not want anything to do with this shit. And I think the rest of them are dead.
Bobcat's like a very well-established director of shitty movies now.
I mean, I love his films, and his stand-up is incredible, but he doesn't want anything to do with this shit anymore.
He got famous enough to marry a hot lady off of this. He should be thankful, and he should make the remake. We need Zed. We need someone to play Jughead, the original Jughead. Let's get the Zed origin story. Let's de-age Bobcat. Let's get the origin story for Zed, Jughead's kid. We can make this happen.
Do it all in CGI. Who gives a shit?
My other worst thing is I actually think Steve Gutenberg's pretty bad in this one. I think it's the worst. It's the worst performance by Gutenberg in the series. I think he's very uninspired in some moments where he had a lot of like the undercover scenes. He could have done a lot there, and he does the absolute least amount you could with it.
Yeah,
it's a pretty bad Gutenberg performance of the series, and I stand by my statement earlier. I think the cousin who comes in and replaces Gutenberg is a funnier actor. Matt
get
McCoy.
out of here!
Pretty good actor.
What a
really
awful
surprise! I think both of you, but I like Gutenberg as gang member. I think I don't love him as gang member, but there's one part when he's first pretending to be a gang member. When he's like walking down a street, knocking down every single thing in the street.
Yes.
That I like a lot.
That's funny, yeah.
And he pulls a man out of a telephone booth and he says, "They'll call you back," and then he breaks a window. I like that bit.
I mean, that's a good gags, but I still think like I expected more from Goots in that spot. Like
I just thought it was so great that like he's trying not to present as a cop, and he puts on a stupid cop mustache. Like that's how he disguises himself.
He looks more like a cop.
Yeah, he totally did. So
this
great.
This will pain you in great ways, Chad. But what is your low man of this picture? What's the worst part of Police Academy 2?
I think we've already talked about it. Callahan's not in it, and that is a huge, huge mistake. They should have just waited till she was available and shot it then. Who gives a shit? The blonde woman in the poster who's not in the film is the funniest thing I think in the entire. It's not in the movie, but it's the funniest thing about the movie.
That's just red-blooded American marketing right there.
Oh God, I think it's so great that they did that. But but yeah, other than that, I mean, I think it's the worst part of the movie. I think is the mayor not really doing more than she did. There could have been a plot if that was really something.
I think the gag is useless woman mayor.
Yeah.
Yes.
And of course,
gaggery.
The city has gone to shit. Guess who's in charge?
Yeah. Yes. I think that's a gag in the movie, unfortunately.
Yeah. But it's I think that's where your plot falls apart. And I think the worst part of the movie is Callahan is the women. Callahan's not in it. Hooks doesn't have enough stuff to do.
Yes, Hooks is good. She should be in more.
She's great in everything she does, and they just didn't give her enough. And that's it. Yeah, the lack of women or the woman who's completely ineffective.
Another terrible thing for me, and this is a bit existential, is realizing how stupid I was as a child. Because anytime I saw the WKRP in Cincinnati guy who plays one of the captains in this movie, I thought that was George Carlin. I always thought it was George Carlin.
As a child, I could never tell a difference between him and Martin Mull. I always thought that he and Martin Mull were sort of the same.
Well-
They had like same mustache, same kind of head.
Martin Mull is the funniest man who ever lived,
Yes,
and the other guy isn't.
that guy. Yeah, he's that guy from
Aw.
WKRP.
He's fine, but Martin Mull is the fucking
Yes,
best.
he's no Martin Mull. Fellas, we're rewriting the script. Here's my potential idea for how to make this in a remake. One thing I think that they do a little bit of, but that they should do more of, is people should be assigned to the wrong thing. Like Mauser basically just kind of puts people with their strengths. Like he makes Tackleberry a motorcycle cop, and he's the perfect motorcycle cop. He should be a motorcycle cop. If I were doing it, I would have Hightower as a motorcycle cop, because there's no way that he could like effectively ride the motorcycle. He would fall over.
Yeah.
And
maybe he can't drive, which if you were a more astute police
As we saw in the first film,
you would know that he cannot drive.
he learned to drive. He learned to drive, and he was amazing at driving by the
White
time.
Savior taught him to drive.
Yeah.
Canceled.
And then have all of their strengths to come together. They do it a little bit. They have at the end, Winslow uses his powers to make them think that there's thousands of police coming in, and they go, "Oh no, it's just listen to all of them. Can you hear them?" And that bit is good. But I think there's a way for, like, I don't know. I wrote down that Hightower lifts a thing, and then Fackler, somehow there's like a Rube Goldberg thing where Fackler falls down some stairs and
Just
a bunch
knocks it
of
all over.
other weird trash that is around knocks down 50 guys. Stuff like that would kind of like make since the through line of these characters is like the way they fuck things up, like have Fackler's fucking up be a positive. Have him somehow knock some people over. If you're listening, Key, if you're listening, Mr. Peel, I'd be happy to work on your script with you. I think we can make something really special.
I can't do any more goddamn Jordan Peele scripts for a while after Candyman.
Woo! Still haven't seen it. Can't wait.
Don't do it, Chad.
I have to. I have to.
It's pretty good. It's
all right. Okay, Chad, you can go to Candyman, but you need to see the following horror films first. Malignant.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't Breathe 2.
Yes.
And Night House.
Yes.
Okay.
All much better than Candyman, and all
Much
happen to
better.
be in theaters right now. And then, and in fact, Candyman probably only seems really shitty to me because of these three films being all right around it.
Yes.
It's been a good year for horror, I would say.
Yeah.
Do you think that guy Fackler's career was ruined forever because he gets humiliated so many times in the Police Academy movies that it's unfucking believable?
Maybe.
I feel like I saw like him like super glue his dick to his balls and like get his ass sewn short. Like I feel like he was completely like almost like Saw movie, like Saw movie level torture porn in these films because he's real. Like I clicked on his IMDb, he like ceases to exist.
Whoa.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know.
They killed him for real in Police Academy 7.
They dropped him off of the.
He's still in Moscow. He never came home.
Okay, before we leave,
he became a
star
in Moscow.
It's a little earlier in the year, but can we do a Ranksgiving with Chad and make him rank the Police Academy?
Ooh, yes.
Okay. I would have number 1, and then 2, and then 4.
Two.
He did them all in order. I would love it.
I was tempted. I almost did 1, 2, then 4, then 3, and then the rest of them can go fuck themselves.
Wow. All right, hold on. Which one do they go to the Miami in?
5. That's 5.
5 is number 1.
Absolutely not. Terrible film.
Which one has Sharon Stone? Is that 4?
That's 4. David Spade, Sharon Stone, and Citizens on Patrol.
Actually, you know what? Citizens on Patrol is pretty. Well, obviously, 1 is the best one. I would say Citizens on Patrol is the second best one.
I like it a lot. It's really good. Yeah.
I did not know Sharon Stone was in the conversation.
She is almost attainable in this one.
Really,
Sean? She's like so 80'd out and like poorly dressed that it's like almost. She's like Linda Hamilton in Terminator. Like maybe if like I was the only man she ever knew.
Yes.
Like I could get there, man. Like she's at least out there for us to.
Okay.
It could, we could never be with her.
I think she could love me if she really got to know me. She could probably love me.
That's what I like about you.
All you need's a chance.
If you're listening, Sharon Stone, I've seen your horny tweets, so I know that despite being like 60, you're still a horny old lady, and I like that.
I think she's boning like a preteen rapper now.
Of course she is. She remains one of the hottest people ever.
Yeah.
Somehow she just got older and got hotter, and it's
And she
disgusting.
sounds like she smoked like 6 billion cigarettes, but doesn't really look it.
Yeah.
She can get it.
Yeah.
You heard it here first, guys. Chad Riden would.
Potentially.
Chad Riden would.
Yeah.
If they had a nice dinner first. He's not a whore.
No, I've got to be wine and dined. It's got to be an emotional connection.
Okay.
That would be amazing to be in a bedroom with Sharon Stone and just be like, I mean, I think you're beautiful and all, but we need to go out on 2 to 3 more dates.
Yeah.
You need to buy me more dinners, and then we can see what happens after that. Speaking of wonderful dinners, we love to have dinner on the food court every week, and we want you to join us every week. So the things you must do are this. 1, tweet at us at Food Court Cast. Send us your ranking of the Police Academy movies, or any ranking of any movie series of all time, or a director, or any ranking you can even think
Hear
of.
me out. The one
Tweet
in
anything.
Miami, they get on one of
Tweet
those boats
anything.
that's powered by a fan. A boat that's powered by a fan.
Yes, fan boat. Also, head over to Instagram to Food Court Movie Podcast, and I don't know what you do over there. Just hit the heart button a bunch of times, and then there's a paper airplane button. I don't know what that does, but hit that too.
Ring the bell.
Yeah, ring the bell. I don't know
On
what the
YouTube.
bell is.
Go to our YouTube.
Go to
That's
YouTube and ring the bell. And I think that's pretty much it. There's not going to be a poll this week because we're fucking watching Malignant. We will watch Malignant. Bananas, because it is bananas. Chad's going to be watching it, whether he likes it or not.
Michael will be back for that show because we need him on Malignant.
I'm going to force him to
I
watch
can't
it.
believe he boycotted this just because it's fucking pigs in the movie.
I'm proud of him.
We
Come
should
on.
mention that as a show, we are probably the most anti-cop podcast that ever existed.
Yeah,
Unless, of course, something happens and I need them. If I need to call 911, of course. If there's a robbery in my house,
He ain't coming.
they'll protect me. I'm going to say, excuse me, this is a very important white person. Maybe you've heard my podcast. It's called Food Court. We're at Food Court Cast on Twitter. Just come check us out. So come and join us every week at 10 Eastern, 9 Central on Twitch, or listen to us on your favorite podcast app and give us a wonderful review.
And Chad, before we go, if
yes.
you have anything to plug.
You can go to my website, fuckthehomeless.com. We're doing a lot of really good work for people who deserve it. I'm at Chad Riden, Riden, everywhere on the internet. And just stop by. I'll be doing stuff.
Thank you so much for being on the show, Chad.
Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for watching this, the greatest film of all time.
It's been a delight to talk about the greatest film, definitively the greatest film of all time. You heard it here first. The Police Academy 2.
I still think the other one that's in Miami is the greatest.
You're out of your mind. Just awful. God damn.
The one in Miami is definitively the greatest film of all time. You heard it here first. On behalf of Chad Riden, on behalf of the late, great John Burr, I am Sean Parrott, and I want to say to all of you listening and watching, bon appetit.